NBC News projects that Donald Trump will win in Kentucky tonight. Let's move to Vermont. NBC News projects that Vermont will go in the Kamala Harris column this evening. This is where it brings us on the road to 270 right now. The early start, Donald Trump out in front with 8 electoral votes, 3 for Harris alone.
I think we've got a winner to announce, key projection in the state of Indiana. And no surprise here, Donald Trump will win that state again. Here's the data that's just coming in. See if we can get some numbers. And you now know, because we've taken you inside the decision desk, how is it that we can project this with just 15% of the vote counted? It is because we are confident that the margin is sufficient to make that call. So let's let's go to the 270 map. We're going to see this a lot, and we start to fill in some of the gray. Indiana, red for Donald Trump. Let me go right over.
Coverage at 7:30 in the East. We've got some new results to show you. West Virginia, Donald Trump is the projected winner in West Virginia with 4 electoral votes. Here's where it puts us on the road to 270. Donald Trump out in front with 23-3 for Kamala Harris.
Polls just closed in a handful of states. Here are ones that we cannot call yet.
Florida. NBC News projects that Donald Trump will win Florida and take its 30 electoral votes. The state of Massachusetts, Kamala Harris, the projected winner tonight with 11 electoral votes. Donald Trump, the projected winner in Tennessee tonight, 11 electoral votes there. In the state of Maryland, NBC News projects that will go in the Kamala Harris column. We move on to the state of Missouri. NBC News projects that Donald Trump is the victor in Missouri when all the votes are counted. Here's what Alabama looks like. That will also go to Donald Trump. State of Oklahoma, this will be projected to go to Donald Trump. And in D.C., District of Columbia, 3 electoral votes at stake. NBC News projects that Kamala Harris will win there. So where does it leave us now on the road to 270? There it is, 90 for Trump right now, 27 for Harris, 270, of course, the magic number and the keys to the White House.
But we await calls in those all-important battlegrounds.
Projection in the state of South Carolina. South Carolina will go to Donald Trump when all the votes are counted later. And here's where the breakdown right now that Donald Trump, again, the projected winner. 24% of the vote in there, a vote difference of about 104,000. But again, Donald Trump will pick up South Carolina. Here's where it leaves us on the road to 270. Donald Trump will win in the state of Arkansas when all the votes are counted. 6 electoral votes. Here's where we are on the map to 270. That leaves Donald Trump with 99 electoral votes. Here's the projection. NBC News can project that Donald Trump will win in the state of Arkansas when all the votes are counted. 6 electoral votes. Here's where we are on the map to 270. That leaves Donald Trump with 99 electoral votes, 27 for Harris. Again, the goal, 270.
State of the sitting president, Joe Biden, will go for Kamala Harris as expected. Here's how the vote shook out, just 48% in, but this is an easy projection with the margins as they are expected to be. So here's where we fill out our map at 8:30 on the East Coast. Delaware being added to the tally for...
Talking about Donald Trump will win in the state of Texas when all the votes are counted. NBC News projects that Donald Trump will also win in North Dakota tonight. South Dakota, same story. That will also go into the Donald Trump column this evening. We move to the state of Wyoming in 3 electoral votes at stake. Donald Trump, the projected winner in Wyoming. Here's the map. The road to 270 now getting interesting. 154 for Donald Trump, 30 for Kamala Harris.
All right, let's go to the...
Of Mississippi. NBC News now projects that Donald Trump will take all 6 electoral votes and will win in Mississippi. There is the breakdown right now, 21,000 vote difference, 10% in. But again, Donald Trump, the projected winner in Mississippi. Here's the map. Here's where it leaves us on the road to 270. Donald Trump well out in front with 160. Kamala.
If Jennifer Garner's on the other line talking to your mom or Paul Rudd, and that's the strategy there. We've got a race to call here. Louisiana, no big surprise, but if you're filling out your map at home, you can add Louisiana there. Just 22% of the vote counted, but again, the margin expected to be rather large. So here's the map for those watching at home. The South, of course, reliably red for Donald Trump, and at this early hour, he's...
We've got a projection in the state of Rhode Island. NBC News projects that Kamala Harris will win in Rhode Island when all the votes are counted. 4 electoral votes for her. Here's where the breakdown is. 31,000 vote difference, 74% of the vote in, but again, Kamala Harris, the projected winner there. Let's pull up the map, the road to 270. That brings Harris now to 34 electoral votes. Donald Trump still well out in front with 168. Remember, and not necessarily a surprise, but NBC News projects that New York will, Kamala Harris is the projected winner. I'll get this out, projected winner in New York. And there you see the vote difference, 845,000, 33% in. Here's the map to show us where we are on that road to 270. That puts Donald Trump out front with 168. Harris with 62 now.
Let's continue. Illinois, Kamala Harris, as expected, takes it. So that's a Midwest hold for Kamala Harris and the Democrats. Let's look at the breakdown here. Half the vote in, and it looks like it will be an easy victory as expected. And so we can fill out one more state on our road to 270 map, the state of Illinois going to Kamala Harris. Let's go to Tom Young.
And walk you through it. I see it as you see it. NBC News projects Donald Trump will take the state of Ohio with 17 electoral votes. There is the breakdown of 441,000 vote difference now. 64% of the vote in Ohio. And again, Donald Trump is the winner there. And there's where it takes us on the road to 270. Donald Trump out in front with 185 electoral votes. Harris with 81.
All right, let's go to Savannah Sellers. We always need not one, but two Savannah
announced he wasn't running for re-election. The Ohio Senate race, really significant, guys, and one to watch.
All right, we've got a call in the Kansas presidential race. Donald Trump is the projected winner in Kansas now. NBC News can project. Let's see where that brings us. Here's the breakdown right now. 31,000 vote difference, but again, Donald Trump will win there. Let's take you to the map and see where we are on the road to 270. Donald Trump with 191, Kamala Harris 81 electoral votes. A projection now in the state of Utah. NBC projects that Donald Trump will win in Utah and take those 7 electoral votes. And we go further into the west into Montana. 4 electoral votes. Donald Trump, the projected winner in Montana tonight. Here's the map, the road to 270. Donald Trump now with 201, Harris with 81. That's the road.
And Iowa will go red, as was widely expected until that poll. Right there, Trump wins the 6 electoral votes of Iowa. And so we can see the breakdown there with about half the vote counted there. So there was this thought that perhaps because of his restrictive abortion ban that just went into effect in July, and this highly respected pollster coming out, that perhaps there was going to be a wave of independent women who could somehow turn this red state blue.
Nebraska. Okay, this is NBC News projects that 3 of the 5 electoral votes will go to Donald Trump. 3 of 5, you ask? That takes me to Tom. I'll let you explain it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Again, so Nebraska.
The top of the hour, 11 o'clock hour here in the East. NBC News can project that Kamala Harris will win in the state of California. 54 electoral votes. In the state of Idaho, NBC News projects Donald Trump will win and take those 4 electoral votes in Idaho. Here's the map where it moves in the road to 270. Donald Trump with 214. Harris now with 104. The state of Oregon. NBC News projects that Kamala Harris will win in Oregon when the votes are counted. Here's where there's the breakdown right now. 220,000 vote difference, 45% of the vote in. But again, Kamala Harris, the projected winner there. In our road to 270, let's see where we are. NBC News now projecting that Kamala Harris will win the 12 electoral votes in the state of Washington. Here's how it breaks down right now. A difference of about 472,000, 473,000 votes. In the road to 270, that leaves Harris with 165, 214 for Donald Trump down. Let's projection we're going to put up here on the screen. And this is the state of Connecticut. NBC News projecting that Kamala Harris will win in Connecticut when all the votes are counted. 7 electoral votes. There's the breakdown right now, about a 10-point difference between the two of them. And here's where it takes us in the road to 270. Donald Trump standing at 214. Harris now with 100.
Vote coming in there. Let's go out west, Arizona. Too early to call. Polls closed about 2.5 hours ago there. What looks like we have a projected winner. This just came in right now. Okay, North Carolina, Donald Trump is the projected winner. You see the margin there, 136,000. So Donald Trump improved on his margin by back of the envelope math, 50,000 votes there in North Carolina. That's going to be a real disappointment.
The call coming a little later than many people might have expected, but Kamala Harris will win the 13 electoral votes in Virginia. There's the breakdown right now, 134,000 vote difference. difference, 84% of the vote in. That, of course, goes into the Harris column. Here's where that leaves us on the road to 270. Trump in the East, the NBC News now making a projection in the state of Hawaii that Kamala Harris will win those 4 electoral votes in Hawaii. That's the only poll closing at the midnight hour here. The road to 270, Harris now with 189, Donald Trump still leading with 230. This is the state of New Mexico. NBC News projecting that Kamala Harris will win in New Mexico, 5 electoral votes. Here's the breakdown right now. You see the difference, 43,000, 95% of the vote in there, so very little left to count. Where does that bring us to in the road to 270? Donald Trump at 246, Harris now up to 194.
Let's go over to Tom Yamas, who's at the big board.
Secretary, this is NBC News projection in the state of Georgia. NBC News projects that Donald Trump will win in Georgia when all the votes are counted. There's the breakdown right now, 118,000 vote margin. But again, Donald Trump, the projected winner. This is a big call here on a night in which we've waited quite some time for some of these important battleground calls. Here's what the road to 270 looks like. Donald Trump drawing closer now to that magic number. He's at 246.
Just underperforming, right?
Peter, I'll ask you to stand by right now. We have another call in Nebraska in the split electoral votes. NBC News projects that Donald Trump will win 4 of the 5. There's the difference. This is District 3. Donald Trump, the projected winner. And you can see 58% of the vote is in there.
And District 2 remains outstanding. That's the one in the Omaha adjacent district that usually...
News can now project that Donald Trump will win in the state of Pennsylvania. 19 electoral votes. Here's where it stands right now. Donald Trump out in front. Difference of 188,000 votes. 95% of the vote in Pennsylvania. And that goes in the Donald Trump column.
And with that, it's expected that he will have the 270 votes he needs. I see you puzzling over there. It's because of Nebraska. Yeah.
Also, and I was looking there going, okay, am I going crazy?
No.
Because we haven't called Alaska yet, and that's why it's 266. But this is his mother-in-law. A lot happened to him over the last 2 years. And here we are at this moment again where it looks like he's on his way to re-election.
Yeah, he'll be, he's supposed to be sentenced, I think, the 26th of November on felony charges.
And that even saying that sentence here, right, in this moment, is unprecedented.
You have to wonder, though, and I think we'll have to go back and look at.
Yes, we can.
NBC News projecting that Wisconsin was won by Donald Trump, and therefore, as you see on your screen, we are now projecting that the next president of the United States is Donald Trump.
He will reclaim the White House. The 45th president of the United States will become the 47th president of the United States, being elected for non-consecutive terms, a feat that has not been achieved since Grover Cleveland did it back in 1892. And there's the map. 276 elections.